and welcome to my channel. This is my first ever video, and today we're speaking about the question that even natives can reply to incorrectly. How are you? A question that we get asked by friends, family members and colleagues every single day. It's something I must confess that even I was responding to in an incorrect way. When I say incorrect, I don't mean by grammar or vocabulary, but I mean the feeling that I was giving to the person who was asking me the question. So when somebody said to me recently, "How are you?" I responded with, "I'm not bad." Not bad. It's so negative, really not the best way to respond. But it was like I was on autopilot. That was my natural response. And of course, when somebody asks you, "How are you?" this is going to be right at the beginning of the conversation. This is the first impression that we give. So it's so important. If it's a stranger, this is the first time that they're going to hear anything from us. And we're going to say, "I'm not bad." Do we really want them to think in such a way about us that we're so negative? If it's one of your friends or family members and they ask, "How are you?" and once again we say, "I'm not bad," it starts the conversation off in a negative way. They will immediately think, "Oh, he's not in a good mood today," or "This is going to be hard work." Either way, definitely not the impression that we want to be giving to anybody. So why did I think about this? I thought initially about this back when I was in China. Now, when people ask you a question, it's really common to answer, as I said earlier, on autopilot. We have a natural response. And this was completely true when I first started teaching in China. I can never think of the question, "How are you?" without thinking of the Chinese people that I used to teach. So the very first day I was in China, I walked into the classroom. It was an international high school. And I was confronted by a classroom filled with 80 students. That's right, 80. And I walked in and I said, "Hi, good morning guys, and how are you?" All 80 of the students stood up and in perfect harmony said, "I'm fine, thank you. And you?" I was literally stunned. And I immediately thought, among other things, what have I let myself in for here? But it was so robotic that I was really shocked. And it got me thinking, why do we respond to questions in such a way? Now, the Chinese people are taught to say this response to avoid making errors. They learn this from a very young age, from primary school. But as I said, this was an international high school. Students that should be speaking pretty good English and age generally from 11 to 18. They've been studying English for a number of years. And their response is, "I'm fine, thank you. And you?" It's not wrong in terms of the grammar. It's not wrong in terms of the word selection, but it's wrong in the sense that it's cold, it's robotic, and it shows no interest in what the person is saying, a total lack of respect for what the person is saying to you. And of course they don't know that. I'm not hating on Chinese people here because I've got many Chinese friends and I still teach many Chinese students to the present day. But they are a good example from my time there of how not to answer this question. So what happens is then the Chinese person continues to go on their English journey, and they have this natural response to answer in such a way where they're avoiding taking any risks and they're removing their emotion and creativity from the response. So of course this is completely wrong. The whole idea of learning a language is to have this personal way of communicating, to show your personality, your emotion in your response. So that's how we shouldn't respond to the question, "How are you?" Now, how should we respond to this question? We can, of course, use many positive adjectives: great, fantastic, excellent, all of those work. And we can also think about a variety of other things that we can do that do not directly relate to the words. You know, we can think about the intonation. Which words do we stress? We can think about the tone of our answer. We can think about body language, facial expressions. All of these things combine with the words to give a much better answer. So let's try some of these in principle. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? We have this monotone answer. Monotone meaning that it doesn't change. It's a single tone. How are you today? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Monotone. So we want to avoid any sort of monotone answer for so many reasons. Now in this case, we can use intonation. We can stress certain words to add more meaning. For example, how are you? I'm great. And how are you today? So in this sentence, I'm stressing great because it's the positive word that I want them to clearly hear. And how are you today? I now ask a question in response to them with more meaning. I'm making eye contact. I'm stressing that I care about how they are by putting the stress on the word you there. Immediately we have a better response. Other things that we can do: positive body language, facial expressions. I can lean forward slightly, I can make eye contact, I can have a positive look on my face, I can pay attention to the person that I'm speaking to. All of these things would then make the person feel way more valued. And we're starting this conversation off in a much better way. It's all about the first impression. So to conclude, I would like for you to think about the way that you answer the questions in future. Be more personal. Get more creative with your response. Eye contact, body language. Ask sincerely in reply how you are doing. Show that you care. You will notice that your first impression is going to really change dramatically for the better. You'll feel way better about the way that you're conversating with people. Hope that helps. I'll see you in the next one.